Oh, sorry. So practicing, sort of. We're going to invite Nika. Awesome. Invitation sent. So we're practicing doing Facebook Live with multiple people. So we're going to see who is going to be in. So we've invited Nika Stewart, who is a guest on my blog, to see if she is going to be able to come in. So give me a chance. I'm going to just email her as well and say, okay, invite sent from personal page. All right, still testing. I'm gonna have to edit this first bit out. I'm saying couldn't get business page to work. Oh, so now, Nika, I'm going to, go back, live viewers. Oh, now you're not showing up, Nika, in my account yet. Hopefully you will. Invite friends, invite. You're supposed to show up in my account. All right, I'm waiting for you to show up. Oh, there we go. So now I see you and I can say, invite to broadcast. Somebody else is watching. It's kind of very exciting. Drum roll. If you're being invited, Nika, it's very exciting. All right, here she comes, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! How are you?
Let me get my setup.
It's all meta technology. This is very exciting.
The problem is
What?
you're frozen and this is not, I see you, but I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm going to keep talking. Maybe I should move more. Can you hear me?
No, now I see you dancing. Except it just keeps freezing. I don't know if it's.
Is that your connection?
The Facebook. I don't
You're
know.
Fine. You're fine for me. You froze once, but you're fine for me. Hi, Renata.
Okay.
Nika and I are practicing a new Facebook technology. It's very exciting.
Very fun.
Am I still freezing for you?
No, I think it's good now. I think we kicked in.
Okay.
Except I'm on backwards. I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. Well, it's all a good test, but there's a reason why I admire you, Nika, for having done all this, because I've spent 2 hours figuring out how to get this to work, I have to say. So. And then I just watched your show and I was like, oh, she makes it look so effortless, so totally effortless.
The technology is such a headache.
Hi, Renata. Hi, Phyllis. Thank you. We're excited to be here. I feel like I'm interviewing the pro. She should be telling me what to do. So it's all good.
And well, what are we talking? I don't even know what our topic.
Oh, we're talking about your interview. But I kind of wanted to just we can launch officially in. But part of it was also to just test this technology. So. And I'm sorry. Well, so a few things. First of all, about this, what I've learned is this is not available on pages. So this is why you and I are doing it on our personal pages. But this is actually without any other third app. This is just using Facebook's technology. So a blog post will be coming out of this imminently. But you use all sorts of sophisticated technology, right, Nika? In terms of when you do your show, we'll launch into that. Like you have a whole setup, you use an app, you use cameras, you use everything.
Yeah, and yet still tech issues will happen. So
really,
you never know.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'll come back to that. So the catalyst of this is I sort of have started this blog series called Behind the Scenes, SEENS, wanting to find out how people connect, grow their communities and everything else. So you were very nice to agree. And so I'll put the actual link to the blog post up in after we've chatted, but you very nicely agreed to just sort of talk about how you build your communities. So my takeaways from you, and I think in the write-up I sort of say, Nika Stewart builds communities by, or grows her communities by building trust and going live. So those were kind of the two takeaways that I got from what you had shared with me in our Q&A, like how to actually grow the audience and have somebody trust you, and then the other one was about the live. So before we'll go back to live, but I wanted to just sort of give you a chance to sort of say, how did you, even get started? What was life like for you back in the day before you had how many thousand Twitter followers? 75?
Before, now?
Yeah, like what was life like for you when you had 100 Twitter followers? What was that? What was that life like?
What was it like?
Yeah, so how did you get started in all this, and how did you go from sort of one Twitter follower to 75,000?
Great question. I think the biggest thing that people am I freezing?
Not a little bit.
Can you see me?
I can see you. I can see you.
You know what? I'm gonna move around if you don't mind. I'm gonna walk closer to where I have Wi-Fi. So come on a little tour with me.
Perfect.
Don't just ignore the mess.
Right.
You're trying to block.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, control unit behind me. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, I was in my little
dining
studio,
room with the best color. Where are you taking us?
I'm going to go in my office where I have Wi-Fi.
So were we just in your studio were we just in your studio where you do your videos?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, where there's like a nice backdrop and good lighting, and now I'm just in my office where there's nothing. So
right.
So here we are. Let's see.
Is that better?
Okay. I don't know. Do you see me better? I see you better.
I see you're coming into focus better. Yeah. That's awesome. So we'll start all over. This is Nika Stewart, owner of Ghost Tweeting. We have her here today because she was my first guest / victim of my behind the scenes blog interview. And hopefully a component ongoing will be a little Q&A live like we're doing today. So I want to go back to what was life like for Nika Stewart before she became the huge, massive audience of grower that you are?
Oh gosh, life was exactly the same. I haven't let it go to my head.
Right.
So I was running a business, helping businesses grow their businesses, and I just started using Twitter because it was new, and I thought, well, what an interesting way to try to get in front of people. So it was all just an experiment, just testing things out. And when something would work, I would say, okay, let me try that again. And when things didn't work, I would stop doing them. So really it was just all pretending and practicing and experimenting. And I enjoyed it. So there were certain things that worked for me totally by accident. And because they worked, and people would call and say, oh, I found you on Twitter, can you help me? And that was like brilliant. Like all I did was tweet a few things or follow a few people, and they turned into business. So I thought, okay, I have to do this over and over again. And the same things worked, consistently. And time really is what I think most people are forgetting, that it doesn't happen overnight. I've been on Twitter for, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 years.
Back in the 2010 days?
Yeah, I think it's, so you know what? I know exactly, because I joined the first Twitter party I joined was called Happy 09. It must have been New Year's Eve 09.
Wow.
So what is that? 8.5 years?
Okay.
So yeah. So, but it doesn't mean that it will take 8 years to work. It's just that if you don't continue, it's almost a waste. You want the consistency and be persistent over time is going to get you much better results.
Right. And the days, Nika, do you have people who come to you and say, I want 100,000 followers just like you in a year, right?
Yeah.
And you say,
of course.
Well, what do you say to them in this day and age?
I say, first of all, I say that's unlikely. Not that it can't happen, because I'm not going to kill someone's dream. But why do you want 100,000 followers. You know, I always think of email lists where in my last business where I was helping interior designers, I had an email list of almost 1,500 people. It was not huge. It was like 1,480 something, which in most people's eyes is really small.
Right.
But I had about a 50% return rate. Like when I would put a new program out, almost half of my list would jump in and buy it because of the quality. So everyone was targeted. So the size, and I know we all know that. We all know in our heads that quality is more important. Quality is more important than quantity, but we want the quantity. So, but if you focus on quality and you start getting connections and people who want to work with you, and then it naturally will grow also. You're going to get quantity. Ideally, you want quantity of quality.
Right.
But start with quality.
Right. As opposed to, I've had people say, oh, I'm like, oh, you have 20,000 followers. They're like, yeah, most of those aren't real. I'm like, okay, let's not just go there. Let's not talk about that. Like, you know, and to your point, totally quality. So, and to have gotten where you got, it was quality and it was trust, which is one of the things you addressed in the blog post in terms of they know you're a real legitimate person. There's authenticity and there's quality. And I would assume that's what you preach to your clients as well across all of the social media platforms, right?
Authenticity, you're saying?
Yes. And trust and building the trust.
Yes. I mean, this is true for any kind of marketing, and social media is marketing with the added caveat or the added benefit of it being connection, not just broadcasting. You can actually connect and have conversations with people. But in marketing, when you meet someone, no one's going to buy from you unless they get to know you and they like you and they trust you.
Right.
So you need to build that, not just broadcast a lot of crap. I mean, you can't just broadcast a lot of good stuff either. You have to connect with people.
And engage. That's our other key word, right? Engagement, engagement, engagement.
Yes. And what does that mean? So that means a lot of different things to different people. And what I've noticed is the best kind of engagement it's like, give what you want on social media and you will get more of what you want. So the best way to get attention is to give attention.
Right. And Nika, you're very, very, very good about that. You're very responsive. You're very engaging. And I think the other things I've heard is, especially now when we're in the scroll mode, I saw, do you know Cindy Ratzliff? She sort of said, now you want to be thumb stopping, like that you want somebody to actually stop scrolling, see what you've written, and actually then engage and do something. And I was like, okay, that's the new buzzword to today is, you know, thumb stopping to sort of hopefully have that engagement. But my other reason for reaching out specifically, well, there are many reasons, Nika, but particularly actually has to do with this very meta, taking advantage of live streaming and live video. And so I kind of open the floor up to, you have your new show, Small Biz Cafe, that you're sort of running through the live streaming platform. Tell me a little bit about, you know, as I've learned today, this morning, trying to get this all set up, what, if you had to shortcut things for us, what are the things, what would be your sort of 3 things you wish somebody told you before you started?
Okay, the first thing that I would suggest is to just do it and not wait until you have all the things perfect, meaning the technology and the backdrop and the lighting and the microphone and the cameras. Right. That's all stuff you can add.
Right.
So right now you and I are going, what we're doing right here is just on our phone. You're on your phone right now, right?
Right.
And so am I, and that's all you need.
It's not available on desktop. Not, so.
Right. Now, Facebook. Go ahead. Yeah, and you can. I mean, depending on the platform, there's Periscope, which is Twitter. There's Instagram. You can go live. There's Periscope, Facebook. And it depends on the platform, and you can use a computer or you might have to use a phone. But whatever you can use, go on just to get comfortable. Don't worry so much about the lighting and your makeup and your clothes. I mean, you want to feel comfortable and feel good. I'm not saying be a mess, but just feel comfortable, just get comfortable going on.
Right.
And then decide what your purpose is. Like, what is your point of going on? When I first started on Periscope a few years ago, I was just having fun. I had no plan. And that was kind of fine. But then I realized this is really powerful. I better have a strategy behind this. And then a few months ago, I was at Social Media Marketing World, where I took a class on being more professional live. And that's when, because I had been on for more than a year practicing, I felt like it was time to go for a more professional studio and, you know, the camera, the lights, the backdrop. But it's not like that gets you more business. It just looks better. So if you're looking to connect with people, just push go live on your phone and do it.
Right. No, that's why we're here today. Thank you very much, Nika. But, you know, but I think the other reason is, it's the you know, it goes back to the, you know, and part of this is the behind the scenes, but I think giving people an opportunity. They're like, oh, it's not perfect. And like, especially for people that you and I work with, just letting their followers behind the scenes in terms of what they're doing and how they do it is of huge value to, you know, it's not just the whole perfect, you know, this is the whole perfect picture. It's the, maybe we want to see how you do your studio. Maybe we want to see what it's like when you're writing your book, or maybe we want to see what it's like before you're going up to your speaker podium. I think those things are nice ways to use this, you know, to use this platform, as it were. One, besides just doing it, having a strategy, what would be your other sort of secret, you know, is there a secret tool or something else that you've used?
Oh my gosh, a secret tool.
Or a game changer for you in terms of live streaming.
Yeah, I'll actually tell you about a group where I have learned and still am learning, you know, because I'm a newbie at this. You know, it's all on levels. So I may look like I'm ahead of some people, but I'm way behind so many other people. And where I'm learning, getting the most great info is Live Streaming Pros. That Luria is the woman who runs, Luria and David, they run Live Streaming Pros, and I'm pretty sure it's livestreamingpros.com. But you can join their Facebook group.
I'll look
There's
it up
a free
and
Facebook
I'll
group.
put it in the comments.
Great. Yeah, I mean, because then if you have questions, people are very helpful and they'll share resources.
Yeah, no, that's how I found that. I think I sent it to you. Like, Nika, here's the YouTube video that tells us how to do this. I think it was slightly outdated and we still had to figure it out on our own. Hello to Jessica. Hello, Lewis. I didn't get to catch Jackie, but if anybody has any questions for Nika, please post them here or post them in the comments when we put it up later. And Nika, going with the show model, was that something you did to keep consistency in terms of just sort of having a schedule and going from there and helping you plan your content? Is that sort of how you evolved into showing up randomly live and now you've got your whole show? Tell us a little more about how you evolved into making it a show.
I realized that, going live sporadically, even if it was consistent, you know, I was trying to go live every day, which became comfortable for me, but it became hard to keep the strategy because every day I had to start over again, come up with something new to teach or to share. When I realized I could have a show, like right now we're going to do, you know, we keep going back and forth because it's new, it's a few months old. We're doing one weekly show, a main show with a topic. So we have a theme of the week. We do most of our preparation and getting a guest on, an expert. That's all for this one main show. And then other days we can do just shows that just part of that topic. So it feels very organized because there's a theme of the week. Anytime I want to just push a button and go live, it's going to be somehow related to that theme. If we put out a blog post, we can talk about that theme. If I put posts on Facebook or Twitter, we can talk about that theme. And then the main show is where we want to get people on to learn something.
I love that model.
Yeah, I mean, it's really feeling very comfortable. So, and what I also miss though is the life like just get to know me or get to know, like I love watching people just push live and say, hey, I'm hanging out and doing this fun thing. And you really get to know someone. That's a little lacking with this more professional studio type show, because it's more, you know, turn on the camera and the lights and and talk about our topic. I do want to get back more into, you know, hey, I'm out for a walk and this is what we're talking about and ha ha ha.
Have you tried Instagram? Have you tried Instagram Live for that? Maybe that could be the Instagram. We tried that for the first time this weekend and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, people actually pay attention, and I heard from people we hadn't heard from. So maybe that's where you can go back to the personal and keep the Facebook on the, see, as we tell people, different platforms for different uses.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of like Periscope for, because it's Twitter and Twitter is my place. Like that's my house.
So you still use Periscope. You're the one that taught me Periscope. So you still use it.
Yes, not as often. I actually went back on last week and said, okay, Periscopers, I'm sorry I let you down, but I'm back now.
I've abandoned you.
Yes.
I'm back. Back on my Facebook hiatus. I've cheated on you on Facebook.
Yeah.
I got it. Well, Nika, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate it. Part of it is just very meta to like, get to test the technology, but my hope for these blog posts is exactly as you said, actually having a Q&A, but a Q&A that we can share so it's not such a, you know, just a readable transcript, and trying to actually use the technology that we play with. So thank you for your patience and understanding and internet connections and advice, and we'll share some links in here, and we'll see what happens when we go from here. But I really appreciate your time and being a guinea pig with me today.
Thank you. Thanks, Nancy. See you soon.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Great. Thanks.